Well, we've had another catastrophe. And that's just the way it goes. Title of this video is I Make the Mistakes So You Don't Have to. This is the original wing that I used to make this mold. I can tell you right now, this is 2-pound density foam. Don't ever make your plug out of 2-pound density foam. This resin gets really hot. It's called exotherm when it's curing. And it melted the foam inside. I mean, the foam is basically gone in here. If you're going to use foam, you need to use this green foam. This is closed cell foam, and that's open cell foam. So I wasted another bunch of money on material, but we're not giving up. So the plan is, I've got this. I really want to get a wing mold before I go any farther. So, knowing that I can't use foam, I don't have any tooling board. I don't want to buy basswood because I just looked it up and it's ridiculously expensive. I decided that I'd make this wing out of solid balsa. I don't think the exotherm is going to melt the balsa. So now what I'm doing is shaping the airfoil. Now what this is 2 pieces of wood glued together, sandwiched together, so that I'm going to split it. I don't have to make a parting board or, anything like that. We're going to lay it flat, split this flat on this piece of Lexan. So it'll lay flat on there, and I'll pour one side, and then I'll glue the other side to that, turn it over, and pour the top side. What a pain in the ass. So this is what I'm doing today. Another thing, don't use auto primer on your molds, or spray can primer anyway. You might get away with catalyzed primer, urethane type automotive primer that's catalyzed. But like I said, it gets so hot, it just by the time I'm done with this, I will be an expert. I knew yesterday when I forgot the PVA that this was not going to go smoothly. But I think I got it now. All we can do is try, and if it doesn't work, well, from what I understand, talking to Dan, even the pro shops have catastrophes, and it takes 4 or 5 tries to make something, which is all well and good when you got money, but shit, I ain't got no money for this stuff. But this is a test bed for full-size stunners. And the bad thing is there's not really anybody to call and ask about what I'm doing because nobody's doing it this way. Take Doran. He's got aluminum molds already, CNC'd. And you look on there and most of the guys are doing fiberglass molds. Well, I'm trying to do a cast. Should I even call it when I talk to the people at Resin Services? Margaret doesn't know anything because she's just a receptionist, and the guy out in the shop says, I don't know nothing. I'm just a guy who mixes it. So I don't know who to call. So Dan and I talked this morning, and from what I gleaned from him, this is probably a good idea. He suggested I cover this with monocoat, but we're not going to do that because I'm afraid we talked about it, and the resin is just going to get too hot and melt bubble the monocoat up. So I'm just going to I use Z-epoxy on this, and Z-epoxy is a low temp resin and not good. So we're going to use the HTR 250 in fiberglass on this. And here in a second, I'll show you exactly the thoughts on how I'm going to mold this up. As soon as I get this airfoil roughed in here. I tell you what, this is a whole lot harder than it looks. A whole lot harder than it looks. Now this is not weighted. I'll take this on the table saw and cut this into small pieces. And on the next mold, I'll just put it in the mold. It'll cross-link as filler. Shit, if Danny can use rocks as filler, I certainly can use mold as filler. I gotta blow my nose. If I can just start pulling parts, I can make an airplane. Because the concept is good. let me explain my concept on this. This is my fuse plug. Oh, bottom here. This is like will be like a harder's pan. So the stabilizer will mount in the bottom of this. The horn will be at the top. This will be the top of the airplane. The belt crank or the push rod will come out the bottom of the wing and go to the top of the stabilizer with a quick link on it. So when you take this apart, you'll take it apart like that, undo the elevator, so you can take this in your hand or do whatever. And the wing will be glued to the top half of the fuselage in its original location. Everywhere it goes here, probably closer to here. Yeah, somewhere in there. Anyway, the bottom, this will be the fuel tank. Right there be the fuel tank. Trust me, this is a good concept. It's just a pain in the ass to get it right, to get it to go. There's the fuselage mold. The plug. While talking to Danny this morning, I remembered something. I got a picture of it around here somewhere. I built a Japanese custom motorcycle, Kawasaki. And I chopped and channeled the frame, lowered the seat and all that stuff. Well, on those motorcycles, there's side covers. The side cover goes on, back by front of the front rear fender and underneath the seat. Well, after I lowered the seat post and everything, this side cover didn't fit. And what I did was I cut it straight down this way and straight down this way. So I got 4 pieces. And I glued it back together. I made it fit and glued it back together and fiberglass the piece. And then I pulled a mold, a Bondo mold, off of that and then remolded the side cover. If I can do that, I certainly should be able to pull this stupid wing out of this. So if this mold making crap don't work, which it should, I mean, now that I've learned from my mistakes, we'll do it that way. I'm gonna get a part somehow out of this. Kind of like stubborn. It's not going to beat me. Is the chat not on? I hate YouTube. Somebody type something in chat. Because in the first 15 minutes, I always have a comment. Let me see here. Hate fucking YouTube. My videos, go to studio. live. Studio. Okay, there we go. Yeah, it's working. What is this? Create highlight video. It's details or delay. I'm using the studio. Insert something or other. I don't know. It's supposed to have a commercial break in here too, but I don't see that. We got 3 likes and 11 watchers. 21 views. Okay. So I've about got this airfoil sanded in symmetrically, which is tough to do. You guys will figure it out here. You'll see what I'm doing. We'll stay on an hour, and then of course the hangout is tonight. If I can stay awake. That looks pretty good. Pretty good. Okay, let's get that number 22. That's right, trip me. Of course, can't find it. I guess we use this long putty knife. Wonder what happened to Terry Forbes? He kind of fell off the planet. I get to seeing you guys on here, and when I don't see you, I wonder what happened. Should that have been better off to just spot this? The tape is holding this together better than CA. I only put like 5 drops of glue on the tape. Here it comes. Man. Yep, 5 drops of glue and it's stuck like a big dog. Yes. Tell you what, if you wanted to build a solid wing, you could do it this way. This is really light. Okay. That looks pretty good. Pretty bueno. Okay, that's that side. I don't even think I'm going to fiberglass these. I'm just going to put the resin on it and sand it. No primer, no nothing. That way it will have no chance of peeling anything up like that. Oh, man. Of course, I'm probably doing it wrong. And if there's anybody out there that knows what I'm doing and has an idea, some pointers, please speak up, because I got no clue. I've been making tanks and landing gear and bell cranks and stuff like that, wheel fans. But this is my first composite airplane. 100% composite airplane. Of course, we use carbon and doublers and crap like that. And I'm open for suggestion. Now, if it's a wise ass remark, keep it to yourself. I don't care. That looks pretty good. By the time I'm done, I might have a really good airplane. After making all the mistakes. Okay, those will get glassed. We'll get hot glued to this. Dust. I'll use that Lexan. if this Lexan is long enough for this piece. It'd be nice if it was. All right, we got this for the mold, we got this for this piece. I'm glad I didn't cut that. I was thinking about cutting it. Of course, I could make it on this too. Nope, not long enough. Not quite long enough. That other piece of work. Okay, so the next trick is to coat these with HTR 250, and then we'll put them in my hot box. So let's get this off the bench. This is a wasted experiment. Another $50 wasted. Okay. That's right. Shit. Okay. That'll throw all the mistakes out. So I got a some practice in hot wire. Of course, the house is not for sale. Hello.
Hello?
Johnny Longwalk, how can I help you?
Hey, Billy here. You doing all...
You have food order? Shit. You have food order? I need to go buy another batch of this plastic here. Is there an advantage using the epoxy mold like you've been using over the fiberglass ones, or you're using on the fuselage? Yes. I'll explain. When I make this mold for the wing, I will lay up the top and the bottom and vacuum bag it. And when I go to put it together, I will key it together, and so it will become perfect. It will be exactly like the mold. On the fuselages, they're going to have to be hand fitted because it'll be two fiberglass molds vacuum bagged, and they won't be able to be keyed together, if that makes sense, which is not a big deal. You just have to hand fit the fuselage together, where the wing will be in one piece, be two halves. Because when I say hand fitted, it should be a good parting line on it. But these got to come apart anyway. The wing does not come apart. It's one piece. So it'll be two halves, a right and a left. But it'll be one piece and hollow inside. These will be two pieces, a top and a bottom, that need to be fitted because you're going to have to cut the hole out for the wing. And there's really not any way to mold this into one piece. Unless I had a whole lot of money and I could mold the wing with the top so that it came off in one piece. But I don't have that kind of money, so putting these together will be just like fitting a cowl, sand them back and forth, make it perfect. Putting the wing together, I mean, I could sand it out in two halves, there'd be four halves, but I don't feel that's the right way to go. I think it should be a right and a left, not a right, left, top, and bottom. Because the wing is pretty important. It's the most important part that I'm making is that wing. This here is like I say, fitting a cowl. Piece of sandpaper on it, get them fitted nicely. Maybe sand the sides because these don't get glued together. They're two separate pieces. That's why when people say, well, I got a kit from Yatsenko. Well, I'm not buying it because unless you got the molds and can put it together in the mold, the wing ain't perfect. I think we got duped. That's the everybody gets a trophy crowd. Need to clear out some of this crap here. And now the camel's nose is under the tent and we're kind of screwed. This is Missouri. You're going to have to show me. Guess I'm dumber than a box of rocks. But I ain't buying it. Of course, I have on good authority. Yeah, I won't go into it. They'll just ruin the hobby like everything else they touch. Okay, so now need the scale. Where'd it go? Pretty soon I'm going to dig out from underneath this mess. There's the scale. Get rid of this piece of wood so I don't screw it up. It's a good piece. It's of the 4-pound kind. And we need a mixing cup. I do not know what this is supposed to be mixed to. I have to look here. It's 25 to 100, so it's 25%. So 2 ounces. So if we mix an ounce, that's a 1/4 ounce. If we mix 2 ounces, that's a 1/2 ounce. Is that right? Yep. 25% of 2 is a 1/2. Is that right? No. Yeah. Yeah, please hit the like button. So 2 ounces is 28.56 grams. Let's see. Yeah, we'll make 56. 28.33 times 2, 56.5, 56.66. Okay, 56 grams. Okay, that's 56 grams. It sure don't seem like much in there. Let's see. $28.33 divided by 4 equals 7 times 2. We need 15 grams of hardener. $106.3. That's the right shit. Man, I had that over John's. It hadn't been open for 2 years. There we go. I went back and kind of looked at some of the Saturday at John's videos. Boy, I miss that guy. And Dennis Vandiker just passed away. He used to, him and Mike Schmidt, the Schmidtiker brothers. You guys got to quit dying on me. $15,000. Yeah, not supposed to mix it with a stirring stick, but I'm going to do it anyway. Phew, man, this stuff smells bad. It smells bad. It's got to be good. It smells just like Superfill, cat pee. So it looks like 2 ounces is going to be the smallest that I can mix on this scale. That should be plenty. I'll harden up that fuselage plug. Who's going to be first this month? That's what I want to know. A week in and 0 chat revenue. Let's see. We need one of these brushes. That stuff is sticky. Sticky icky. Figure one coat, then sand it, then another coat, and then we'll be wax it and ready to go. I'm not going to fiberglass it. Great. Great, great. So how many of you guys think I'll get a mold out of this? I don't know if I ever told a story about my penny collection. But I'll tell it now. I have a penny collection. And I started collecting, and I could not sleep until I got the 1909 SVDB in there. I looked and looked. I mean, they wanted millions. They wanted lots of money for that stupid coin. I didn't have that kind of money. Well, I ended up finding it anyway. But that's determination. I could not sleep till that hole was filled in that stupid book. And I used to think about it all the time. Well, what that tells you is I'm going to get a mold whether it kills me or not. And to be honest, I'm not even a coin collector. I shouldn't have started that book. You know what? I made clear for that to go, and I didn't put the wax paper down. Oh man. Not supposed to get this shit on you, but nothing's killed me yet, so we won't worry about it. At this part in life, it don't much matter. Well, 2 ounces is too much. It goes a long ways. Come on, you. when you're doing these composites, there's a whole lot more waiting than there is working. Whole lot more waiting than working. Let's paint this. As long as we got the stuff. It's already got one coat of epoxy on it, but we'll add some more here. Let's see how this shit sands. Danny says it sands easy, so we'll see. We shall see. All right, that looks like it's going to wrap it up for this video. We'll be back at 7 o'clock for our hangout. So all I can do now is wait. Let's hope by the end of this week I get a working mold so that I can start laying this stuff up. But it's going to take what it takes, and I'm not going to let it beat me. Might have to go to the auto parts store and get some 2K primer. All right. You know the drill. Like, subscribe, and share, and all that other good stuff. I shall return. Fair winds, tight lines. See ya.